It has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Kellyn.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me, as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late night on the 25th, and there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not. My client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi, Dad. I know this is gonna sound weird, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some decent clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday with all the decent clothes? Mom.
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
So first, just express, I can't even imagine as a parent what you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
That's right. We won't stop either looking for him. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day. I do apologize. I have been out. Stomach stuff just is what it is. But hopefully it's just day to day. I was trying to go live the other day. I use Filmora over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of on the edge. As you can see, well, no, it's super tiny. When I started using it, I think it was like Filmora 10. It is now, and again, I apologize, that's tiny. It's Filmora 15. They do updates. I mean, it's, any program updates all the time. It's not unusual, but fortunately, their latest update, when they did to 15, if anybody's familiar with cloud stuff, where, they have their own little servers and your stuff goes to their cloud, their servers. Anyway, they updated recently, and that's the program that I use to make all my videos. And their latest update changed the cloud system. And long story short, if anybody does video editing, knows like when you open stuff up, you can import media, so it's there. That way, when I make my videos, I can just grab like this interview. It's there, anything. And long story short, and I have tons of files that are ready. If I'm building, if I'm doing like a video for Texas Roadhouse, I have a bunch of Texas Roadhouse stuff, so I can just easily just kind of build off that, etc. Anyway, they changed the cloud system, and it basically just erased all of my imported stuff, and it was an absolute nightmare. So I had to restart everything and build back up. So anyway, it sucked because I really wanted to go live the other day, but it didn't happen. So here we are. So today we are going to go over a couple of different angles because I've got tons of unseen footage, stuff that a certain fish sticks has said, and I'm going to prove and debunk what he said because he's a lying piece of doo-doo, and so much more. And then kind of the main part of the show is going to be CC. We'll kind of use that for short. So if anybody, that's Carly, the neighbor behind the Proudfoots, because yeah, he's doing some weird stuff. If you're familiar with the case, then you guys know. In my personal opinion, I think he is one of the two flashlights. I think he's subject one, in my opinion. But yeah, let's get going so I can read chat. But yeah, there's tons of unseen footage. I'm going to show you guys, give you some context on the fish sticks who just says stuff and then people try to take his word for it. I'm going to back it up with actual evidence and let's get going. But yeah, there's tons of stuff and I've got more. I'll probably drop one bombshell and then I got more info on the cameras. As always, I've got my notebook and yeah, so tons of stuff to go over. So I hope you guys are ready because there's a lot. Thank you to everybody. I appreciate that. It is what it is. When you get a little bit older, things stop working properly, I guess. But so I know I pulled this up all the time, but I'm just gonna read one part of it, which is at the middle here. And of course, this was released by Fish Sticks, saying, "Hey, look, I've got 100 hours of additional footage. So do I. I've got most of the same footage, not all of what he has. Boy, if I had the same footage he had, yeah." Then he says, Sebastian not being carried out anywhere by anyone. There are no people lurking or moving around in the backyard or common area. And it's just so funny because, again, now we know this is a Nest Google camera. This is CC or Carly's camera that points towards their backyard. And this Nest Google camera is literally set up only to record when there is motion. So it's so funny that the idiot wasn't thinking about, when he posted this, that when he did this and showed the timestamp, he literally is showing that this, whatever this is, there's movement. And it's just so funny that, that statement he just said, there's no movement. But this camera, it's, yeah, you can get 24/7, but this particular setup is not 24/7. It is just there only to record anything that's motion. So if a cat goes by, and guess what? A cat goes by at like 5 a.m. or something, and we can see it going towards the steps here for his porch, which happens a couple hours later. But yeah, 3:06 and 51 seconds, a certain thing goes by. And again, once we found some info, and if you're a Patreon of mine, I released kind of a bombshell, a little bit more information about why he blurred this part. Because again, as I said before, I thought he was just kind of being cute or clever, but he's an idiot. Anyway, so moving on, and again, thank you so much. And I know I've kind of got the goal, or not the goal, the vote poll going. Do you guys still think he's alive? I know I was kind of debating on whether I wanted to do this poll, but I'll can't get into specific details, but I would say 2.5 years later, I would say, even though, these kind of cases, if you go off, the percentage, the rate, it's not good for Sebastian. But I would say now more than ever, 2.5, feels like 2.5 years later, I would say there's a decent chance he could be out there.
At home, everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room.
Hey, Penny. Oh, thank you so much for becoming a member.
When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Say good night to his puppies.
Okay, so if you're just joining, please hit that like button. So if you guys remember that video by Jessica Danielle, I hope I pronounced her last name right, but it's Jessica. She put out that video that has the scanner audio. She did such a great job with that. People used it all the time, and then she just put timestamps and, video stuff that lined up of where was going on. So since I have, actual footage, I kind of lined some of that stuff up. I couldn't do everything because it would just take forever. And of course, since all my data got wiped, yeah. But anyway, we're going to kind of go through the timeline, not everything, but just that morning, and I'm going to show you some interesting stuff. And so let's get into it.
A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school,
Oh, thank you, Mama. That means the world.
So, in your mind, that's usually around what time? When do you normally wake up? Around 6 o'clock?
6.
So, were you instantly thinking something's wrong, or were you like, he may just be already in the shower, in the living room?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, "I can't find him." He said, "What do you mean you can't find him?" I said, "He's not in the house."
And so at that point, is that when you call 911, or what's going through your mind?
You tell you can see these edits right here. If anybody doesn't know.
Find him. He said, "What do you mean you can't find him?" I said, "He's not in the house."
Of course, they didn't want to give a lot of details. So notice how right here, Katie kind of stops, and notice there's a cut, right?
And so at that
here, cuts back to the reporter. So she probably just kind of stopped, and yeah, it's all the fake accent. Yeah.
point, is that when you call 911, or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone,
and I'm not playing the entire interview. This is just a quick 2 minutes.
I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Outside. She never went to the backyard that I know of, which is interesting. I would think you would at least pop out the back and yell. I can't say 100% she didn't do that, but from the stories I've heard, she only went out the front. I would think any parent in here would have surveyed every acre or every foot, inch of your property.
They were here. They responded within minutes.
So anyway, and then here is another screenshot, which obviously this is motion detected. They didn't have a timestamp, but clearly this is because where the sun's coming up. And this is really important too, and we're going to kind of circle back to this. Because you remember there was the one that Fish Sticks released that had the blurred, and then Crabtree had his little live that he quickly took down suspiciously. I wonder why. Don't want to be transparent, right? But then he released the unredacted, and then he released a couple of screenshots that people are luckily enough quickly. I'm so glad that they did, and snagged this one and the one with the cat. That's a couple hours later, which obviously is cause of motion. But we can tell that this is a video. It's probably 10 to 20, 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how long the movement is. And yeah, so with the sun coming up, this is, I think, according to, the date, the angle, you can plug that all into Chat GPT or whatever, and it can kind of give you an estimated time. And we think this is around 6 a.m., a little after, which is interesting. Somewhere between 6 and 6:15, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. Because notice where the sun's at. And notice kind of the lighting, because we're going to see something else. Oh, the emoji's not working? Always something with YouTube. That's weird.
Made the report.
Okay.
And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside.
And you know what's funny? You know how they claim that, well, we didn't want to call 911 or whatever. Well, what's funny is you call this number and then it is an automatic thing that you have to go through. And then finally you get connected. But guess where all the information goes? It goes to the 911 center. So it's absolutely just
I looked in every closet.
ridiculous.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
So you said you were on the phone with her, so you were not home.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I was at work. I'm a tower crane operator, and I was working in Memphis at the St. Jude Project. So it's, I have an earpiece in that talks to my phone. I have another earpiece in that does the radios. So when she was talking to me, I was like, what? I was confused. We talked about where he could possibly be, and then we went from there and led to calling the cops, and here we are now.
And within minutes, they're there at the home.
Yes, ma'am.
It was rapid fire. They had cars.
Rapid fire. Okay. So remember, at 6:03, according to her statements, she calls Crispy, who then calls the sheriff's department through the non-emergency line. And then it's rapid fire that they got there. Okay. So you've seen me built this before. We've gone over this before, but I want to pull this up just in case. On the left is Katie. There's somewhere I have more of Chris's, but we're just focused on Katie. But woke up at 6 a.m. Realized he's missing at 6:03. I put it at 6:05 that she calls Crispy. Then she is seen outside speaking with somebody. I forget the exact details because it's been a minute, but she's seen outside talking to somebody. And that's captured on the camera that's across the street. And again, that's somewhere around 6:20-ish. Somewhere, could be a little bit before. But this is where it gets really interesting. And then, of course, according to them, the dispatch doesn't go through until 6:33. If she got on the phone with Crispy, why would it take 30 minutes until dispatch comes out? Which is really strange. But I do have another theory. There's two theories here about this. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that statement with Crispy, to me that just seems allegedly premeditated. Like, we did whatever we did, and now we have to do these interviews and blah, 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 blah. And that's him like, here we go, here's, we've got to do this because this, you put yourself in this position. So the next thing on the timeline, and of course we'll get to dispatch, is the school bus. And this is important. If we look at the time here, we've got 6:20 here. Now this bus, again, I did a couple lives last year going over this timeline about this bus, and I got conflicting information, but now concrete information, because there was a bus for disabled children that do go around for this school, and so weren't sure which bus he got on, was the normal one, this one, or the other one, which comes later. But information sources tell me it is this bus. Now, what's interesting is look at the time at 6:20. And it's loud. And this particular camera, the audio is not the best. The other one, it has 4 cameras at this home. One of them has like great audio, and you can hear, I mean, this bus, obviously you can hear it. I mean, it's already, down the street, and this is cranked up because the audio is bad from this. But, so only imagine if the audio was much better. The bus is loud, right? Yes, this is on Kellyn. Yep, this is on Kellyn. Thank you, Sassy. Maybe I should give a little context here. Here's the map. So obviously we have Sebastian's home. This is what the bus does, and I'm going to show it in the video too. But the bus just comes up Kellyn, then does, I don't know, a 3-point turn at Devon, comes down. It does not go up Stafford. What it does is it stops here. Keep that in mind. There's the bus at 621. And this bus will stop. So again, it goes up, and just imagine Sebastian being the bus. This is where it stops. We looked up, its route. You can go on, I forget how to exactly do it, but you can go into the school system and look at all that, where the bus goes and everything. And it stops here. It's 621. Now, she was seen outside speaking with a neighbor somewhere between, 620, give or take a few minutes before or after. And most likely heard the bus. And the bus would be right here. Why would Katie not just go to the bus and go, hey, my child is missing. Since you're going to be driving around and going to the school, just in case that Sebastian went to the school, could you notify, the people at the school that my child is missing? And if he shows up there, give me a call. But she doesn't, which is really strange. But then, sometime around 6:22 to 6:25-ish, she leaves to go to the school, which I think is interesting. I think she heard the bus, and then I think she got the idea, I need to be kind of seen on the camera driving around allegedly pretending to look for Sebastian. Let me know what you think in chat. I think we've kind of discussed that before, but yeah, again. And so look at the lighting at this one, because again, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this captured motion, and this is somewhere a little after 6 a.m. So this captured some kind of motion. I mean, it could have been a deer or something. I mean, they have deer running. I've seen it on video. It's kind of cool. And a cat, but I don't see anything. So I do wonder if Katie sets this up by going outside one of these areas here. So the reason I bring that up is that means that Katie was definitely out before 6:20, in my opinion. And you can see at 6:20, notice the lighting from like 6 a.m. to 6:20. If I did like a little time skip, right, you would notice it would literally go from like this, actually even darker at 6 a.m. And then like in 20 minutes, it looks like this. So that sun pops up and then it lights everything up. So
25th, the day before.
Turn this down. So this is just a little bit of the audio from America's Most Wanted, just of her talking about it. And for those that are just coming in, I appreciate everybody taking the time, and I do apologize. I've been out. We're going over the timeline of that morning, and I'm adding in the scanner audio that wonderful Jessica YouTube channel did. And I'm adding a little bit of that, but I'm adding stuff that people have never seen before. And then we're going to kind of go into Carly. And then we're also going to jump into the cameras because I learned more because there was one other camera I forgot that had some issues. And you're going to see a pattern that
Sebastian went missing. Chris was in Memphis at work. So Sebastian and I went to Texas Roadhouse.
Good to see you.
After dinner, right around 9 o'clock, he laid down. I heard a noise in his room. I said, I don't care what you're doing, but you...
Okay, so I'm going to turn up my AC. Again, this is like always the time where the sun comes up. So I'm going to go full screen for just a second. I'm just going to play the video. Be right back here, guys.
You got to knock it off and you got to go to bed. And he answered, you know, yes, ma'am. And I said, okay. And that was the last time that I spoke with Sebastian. The next morning, when I went in his room, he wasn't in his bed. After a minute or two, when I couldn't find him, I called Chris and I said, I can't find Sebastian. He's not in the house.
I got off of work and I had a text message from Sebastian's stepfather.
I said, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but Sebastian and Benson.
I headed straight over to their house.
I started driving through the neighborhood. I was panicking. I was looking every...
So this is an interesting part. Listen to how she, according to her timeline, listen to what she says after she finds out he's missing.
I called Chris and I said, I can't find Sebastian.
So the phone call.
He's not in the house.
I got off of work and I had a text message from Sebastian's stepfather.
I said, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but Sebastian and Benson.
I headed straight over to their house.
I started driving through the neighborhood.
And she even literally reenacts literally driving on Kellyn. So when you see her in the vehicle, she's driving on Kellyn, right? And then listen to the next thing she says.
I was panicking. I was looking everywhere.
So this is on Kellyn, right?
Where is he? What happened? Did he go with someone? Did someone take him by the time I pulled into the school?
So her version is phone call. I scoured the neighborhood. Then I went to the school. And then
Christopher was already telling me to turn.
As she got to the school, that's when she was notified by Crispy that she had to come back. But that's not what happened. Obviously, it was in reverse. She went to the school first, literally just went to the school, did the old infamous drive-in and do a U-turn. Allegedly, I can't say 100%, but sources pretty good say it's most likely this. There's a camera here, somewhere right here. There's probably more, but allegedly, she just does a U-turn and comes back out. Does not speak with any faculty to say, hey, by chance, my son's missing. You just alert the school, just so that gets out, I think that could take like 2 minutes, right? Just find the first person, and then get back in the car, whatever. But that doesn't happen. Then we have at 6:24. So remember, the bus went down the street at 6:20 to 6:21. The neighbor walking her dog. Now, she walks her dog literally up Kellyn. She literally walks all the way up, goes to Devon, and then she comes down and she's going to go all the way. Now, of course, I can't see exactly where she goes, but she goes down. Keep that in mind. So, Sebastian, write that down. Sebastian allegedly, ran off. Could be hiding in one of these neighborhoods, right? So you have a lady that's been walking her dog throughout the entire neighborhood, Now you can see there's a time skip because we're about 10 minutes later, 8 minutes. And of course, this is right after the school. And here comes our frantic mother who is just screaming her lungs out, looking, shouting. Wait a minute. Katie, you got your windows up. Katie, your windows up. What are you doing? She never listens. The 620 bus was for the kids who do not have ID. It picks up and drops off. Yeah. But I understand that's the bus that he gets on. I know there's, the other bus. But from what I understand, because I even believe Seth had talked about, like, he'd get off a particular bus, and where this bus was at, it definitely sounded like the normal bus. So I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure that's the bus that he would get on. Unless she drove him to school, but usually I believe he got on the bus. I don't know the exact routines. But back to this. Oh, hey, Blue Third. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. God bless you. Helps me out so much. I always try to do the best I can with the visuals and stuff, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for the support, and that goes with everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. So here's Katie coming back. Clearly just frantic mother, just screaming her lungs out. Can't hear it. Windows down. I guess that's a new strategy with the windows up. Maybe sound works better. It gets, I don't know. Maybe it's different with her car with windows up. Anyway, but notice here in just a second. Oh no, did I cut that out? Oh. I think I cut that. Well, let's see. Anyway, seconds later, 30 seconds to a minute later, that dog, and I've shown this before, the lady with the dog, like right after Katie goes down, she comes up. And it's clear that they didn't have a conversation. And you would think that, she would be like, well, hey, this person's like out there already, been walking their dog, could have just said, hey, child's missing, did you see anything? Right? I have to get back to my house, but, keep your eyes peeled. No.
Process. Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you.
Liberty says he was picked up and dropped off at the house. Are you saying that she dropped him off? I don't know. There's a little bit of conflicting information on the bus. And again, I still don't know all of it because Seth said like when he had his weekends or whatever, he would go and pick up Sebastian. And I believe it's been quoted in one of his lives. If somebody knows the exact quote or paraphrase, it said something about picking him up from the school bus. So I don't know. Maybe she did drop him off. I'm not sure. But the main thing is the bus thing. I mean, you could still, at least she could have went over and said, hey, my child is missing. That's really the main thing about that, bringing that up, is because that bus that is where it, like I said, if you look at the school, you pull it up and everything, it literally shows that it stops because it does not go up Stafford, and it stops to pick up anybody from Stafford. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because, again, if she's outside and that bus is like right there within shouting distance, I mean, she could have easily, she didn't even probably have to get in the car. She could have just ran over, waved it down, but never did. Oh, so maybe there's a second bus. Well, that's weird because like I have all the footage and I don't see any other buses coming up though. I don't know. I'll have to look at that, Liberty. Because again, I can't say 100% on that. So there's also the theory, because I told you guys about 3 weeks, maybe a month ago, about an incident near this area that officers came and it was unrelated to Sebastian. But since it was close to Sebastian's neighborhood, they spoke with the officers, and one of the officers said that they arrived at the command center at 6 a.m. And we're going to try to get that body cam. And if we do, that would be really interesting because if that's true, how did they know at 6 a.m. if she's waking up at 6 a.m.? So we don't know 100%. Maybe they could have misspoke. But this person said that that's why we want to get the body cam audio. And they, like I said, one of the guys said, yeah, I was there at 6 a.m. at the command center, which is at the fire station. So again, we're looking, for anybody who doesn't know what we're looking at, as you can see, it's 5:58. The reason I pulled this up, we're looking down this area here. The fire station's right here. This is where the command center would be, right? And it's interesting. There's a couple of cars. There's one particular. I didn't really focus too much. I pulled this up just to kind of show it. And again, this is Long Hollow, and then to the left would be the fire station over here, a little bit further. But there's a couple of cars, and there's one in particular that looks like it's like could be law enforcement or, I don't know, fire truck, because it's got lights. We see vehicles kind of go back and forth. But there's one that's coming up here. And it's lit up, which is kind of interesting. And it could be a law enforcement. Maybe it's unrelated. I think that was just that one right there. This is something I grabbed late making this, so maybe this is something that we'll kind of delve deeper into in a future live. Yeah. Because I got to slow down that one vehicle. But there's one that goes by that's heading towards the direction of the command center or fire station. So there is a theory that they already knew be somewhere before 6 a.m. And if that happened, then there's clearly some fishy stuff going on. Again, we don't know for 100%, but there is. Maybe we'll get that audio of that person talking about it. So now we're going to start adding in the scanner. Now, I'm not playing the entire scanner. I think it's like 16 to 19 minutes. Of course, it's just cut up from like six something to, I think it goes to like a little past 1, I believe. But yeah, it's 12 hours. 11 hours. So but yeah. Thank you, Geneva. I appreciate that. Yeah, feel much better. Okay. So that bus came at 7:10. So maybe I'll have to look for that. 7:10. Where's my pin? And thank you, Liberty, for sharing that. Because again, I always try to be honest on what I know and don't know. Okay, so 7:10. And yes, that would make a little bit more sense because if Sebastian's getting up at 6 a.m. and the bus is there at 6:20, I mean, that's pretty short time for any teenager to get ready. So I will look into that for sure. But again, when I talk about the bus, I really just more refer to the fact that she would have heard that. I just blows my mind she wouldn't. And it makes me wonder, when hearing the bus, did that just kind of go, oh, I need to be seen, so I'm going to go show up at the school, go do a U-turn, and then drive down the neighborhood, and then come back.
I'm going to be in the home before midnight. The doors are locked at this time.
10-4 Monroe.
Central to 47-180, 412. Juvenile. Left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him.
No, I appreciate that. You guys, most of you guys know me. I if I'm wrong, I have no problem admitting it, and I try to be careful on what I know 100% and what, you know.
And she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
Let's get there and see what's going on. Do our own search of the residence. We'll go from there. I'm in the area.
So we're going to see some footage you've never seen before here.
You can take the assist line and route to the missing juvenile.
I took personal medical center ER, center station ER, Sumner Regional ER, and Skyline.
Right.
All clear. That's the juvenile. You can see that code red has them on at 745.
Next big track back up. Going into the construction site over here back towards the beach.
I have some of that footage, but this is what kills me, is I have the footage of the construction site at this time, but yeah. Fortunately, because if you heard my story at the beginning, the Fillmore updated and I lost all the data, so I have to reinstall it. But anyway.
It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? Couldn't have any shoes. I do have some footprints.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah. Leading right over here to the retaining.
No shoes, just footprints?
He literally dove into it. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. He dashed into the water.
Do you see any footprints around it? Oh, buddy, do you see any footprints?
Okay, listen to this, because, again, you guys know me. I love just tearing down fish sticks because it just makes me so sick what he's done to this case. And listen to what they said on the audio.
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining.
No shoes, just footprints?
And there is going to be tons of footprints, and I'll tell you why.
Literally dove into it. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. He dashed into the water.
Do you see any footprints around it? Oh, buddy, do you see any?
So it goes really quick right there, but if you heard it, he says it's awfully muddy over here. Keep that in mind, because where they're at is not far from, because the angle we're looking at behind these homes is the construction site. So, we're kind of up in this area, we're on this side looking kind of this way, but, this is where the construction site is. So keep that in mind.
Footprints, anything? Couldn't have any shoes. I do have some footprints.
Right there.
Oh, the other thing. Oh, shoot. Okay, sorry. Let me go back real quick. I just remembered I wanted to. Or did I just delete? Oh, it did. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, here's the other thing. So there's one theory that somehow they knew by 6 a.m. or a little bit before, which there is, again, you have the officer, which at one point, hopefully we'll get the body cam and we can listen to that. But then there's the theory that this call came in much later, because look at the time. This is when Katie, I forgot to mention this, and then we'll come back. Look at the time. It's 6:32, right? This is when Katie drives up, does amazing job just scanning everything, the quick U-turn that took her, 10, 20 seconds?
We haven't.
It was 6:32, right? when we saw her vehicle driving back, look at the time when they say the dispatch comes in. You guys see that right there? You guys just think that's a coincidence? Again, this is just looking at all angles. Remember the call started at like 6:05 at the latest, right? With Crispy. But is that interesting that her car is seen going down Kellyn at 6:32, and she would be back home exactly at 6:33. And they say it comes in at 6:33. Is that wild? Kind of crazy. So did it actually come in much later than they...
right now.
Was there some kind of funky stuff going on with the three-way call or whatever that took much longer? Maybe because they had some insights, somebody close that they knew helping them.
I'm in the area. Check one hold up. Same.
You can take the assist line and route to the missing 2 mile.
I took personal medical center ER, center station ER, Southern Regional ER, and Thailand.
I mean, I'm sure, Jess, there would be tons. I did a little bit of construction just for a few months, just in between jobs, just kind of picked some stuff up. But, tons of stuff's going on, especially when they're building, new house developments. So, it's possible. I think if there was an open hole, right, that they would have seen it, right? Because that would have had to been covered up early that morning, right? Because if he goes missing in the night, right, sometime after midnight, obviously they're not working. So let's just say in theory that there's a hole or more holes, right? Well, in theory, the workers would have been getting there almost at the same time that the Mount Patrol would be getting there. And we'll see them here in a minute going through the construction. So I would think they would have spoken to, the site manager or whatever and, explain the situation. And I'm sure they would have scanned that. It's always possible. Anything's possible, right? But I don't think that would be...
Code Red has them on at 7:45.
Next big track back up, going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach.
It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? Couldn't have any shoes.
I do have some footprints.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining.
No shoes, just footprints?
Thank you so much, Miss Sheriff, for gifting a mob crew membership. God bless
Max
you.
led me straight to the retaining. Into the water.
And remember, Max is not a scent dog. He's just, I forget the term. You guys can tell me in chat. He's just, I forget the term. But yeah, he's not a specific scent dog. Disturbance? Something like that. Jennifer, good to see you. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Thank you so much. 49 months. God bless you. And 14 months for Miss Sarah. And thank you so much, sweetheart. Geneva, I got yours. Thank you so much again. Sleuth, 42 months. It looks like there's competition there. So happy to be part of the mob crew. Thank you, Sleuth. And it means the world to me. You guys are amazing. Okay.
Do you see any footprints around the muddy? Do you see any footprints, anything?
So the mud thing. We're going to snag into that here in just a second.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining.
No.
Now, I've shown you guys the video of, Max. I can't see the whole thing. I can see him going towards it.
Right. Footprints?
He literally dove into it. Max led me straight to the retaining. Into the water.
Yeah, disturbance. Thank you. Yeah.
There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt.
Now, notice how they're saying dirt, softer dirt, footprints. it's muddy as hell back there. A lot of fresh dirt. I know a storm came after. I'm not sure when the last storm before he went missing was, but yeah, a lot of mud. That's really important.
That he was running. Do we have a picture yet? That's simple.
Hey, good to see you, buddy.
Where the riprap is, where the trees are, 25 feet maybe out in the middle. Hey guys, the construction zone, there's another pond. There's somebody standing in the woods. It looks like a person. It is a person we know, but there's another pond. He's standing back there by himself.
The
Past the
mannequin.
construction zone, in the same area back there.
Damn mannequin.
Yeah, the north end of it, yeah. You know, there was on my map. I got my drone ground for the moment. Pond for the middle. So there's another pond. There's somebody standing in the woods. It looks like a person. It is a person we know, but there's another pond. He's standing back there by himself.
So as far as
Past
I
the
know,
construction zone, in the same.
so this kind of leads more towards the call came much later, although it could be before. But assuming this call came in much later at 6:33, even though they got on the phone at 6:05, why in the hell does it take nearly 30 minutes to get them out there? The first PD car that we can see on Kellyn, now obviously they're going to the home, right? So they're probably been there for basically an hour. But the first car that we see is at 7:40.
Same area back there. Yeah, the north end of it, yeah. You know, the machine goes straight back. There's a person in the woods by that pond. There's the house on the other side of the tree line.
Going back toward beach, or going on the back side?
Yeah, on the back side, and he's not moving. He's just standing there by himself in the woods.
It's Hendersonville 517. I'm on the northeast corner in the cemetery across the tree line. Am I close?
No, the back side. Mickey, if you can, do you have anybody there with you?
Stand by. Let me see if I can find it on my map. I got my drone ground for the moment, and I'll see if I can do it. Target's over it.
One of the two. I'm in my truck.
And there's an ATV.
Two. There's one that's on foot coming across the yard, south direction.
So I think I edited this wrong. I had some major issues for those that were here at the beginning. I used Filmora, and anyway.
19's on the screen. Straight in. Keep it on. Go left. Did come back, you passed it. Right there. Won't be there's one. Walk with you going.
So now we're at 8:18.
You should be about 15 foot from it.
What's the channel's first name?
Okay, now this is important.
Should be all over whatever it is right there. The two people walking the wood.
Not the audio, because of course it
Sorry,
ended up
guys.
being a mannequin.
Look just like a person from the air. Here's another 66. What's the name of the child that we're looking for?
First name is Ben.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
First name is Ben.
So now we have the horseback here. Now notice where they're going.
Last clothing description was black sweatpants with a white stripe, black long sleeve t-shirt with a print.
Nikki, how many drones?
Now the reason they go through here is because their backyard opens up and it gets pretty close to the construction, even though there is a divide. There's a lot of open space back here because, as you can see, there's a pool, so they can't, cavalry, there's a fence line and everything, as you can see. So they end up cutting through here, which, then ends up getting into construction, and that allows them to kind of scan back here. So that's why you don't see them just going through, because other yards have a fence line. But up here, from what I understand, the only fence line is just between the construction and the houses. So that's why you see them cut through here. But that's important because they run into an issue.
One at the moment. I've got mine grounded so I can get Sartopo up. I'll be back in the air momentarily.
Not related to Sebastian, but...
Put two out here, will be. Has anybody been there since the initial? There's a whole bunch of people here now. 4 in the moment. Can you help me listen to the radio on the north end until we wrap this up, please? Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's so weird. There's a lot of cases like that, especially when it comes to missing persons in national parks. It always seems to be like a storm when they go to search. Really interesting. Okay. Okay, the dog.
Two, there's one that's on foot coming across the yard, south direction. 19's on the screen. Straight in. Keep it on. Go left.
He's come back and passed it.
Now, of course, this audio is really just talking about them over in the construction and surrounding area.
You should be about 15 foot from it.
What's John's first name?
Now, there's the dogs. Now, if you guys remember, Fish Sticks released this showing, oh, look, this is a scent dog that allegedly might have his scent, right? And it ends up going to the construction area. Ends up going to the second pond, the pond that's closest to the cemetery. But if you remember, Fish Sticks put that out saying, oh, hey, look, this shows that this scent dog, he is a scent dog, went over into the construction. But obviously, if he took this path, we would have seen it in the middle of the night. It's lit up. This particular house has lighting on the side of it. I've shown it before, like a year ago, when he tried to pull that BS. And if Sebastian went up killing, we would have seen it.
Sorry, I'll be back in the area momentarily.
29 Central, I'm thinking. Put 2 out here, will be.
10-4, has anybody been there since the initial? There's a whole bunch of people here now. 4 in the morning.
Can you help me listen to the radio on North End until we wrap this up, please?
Yes, sir.
Brandon, you've got Hendersonville Mountain Patrol coming up there, and Joe's sending some more cars if y'all want. If we can start from the beginning, from the original house.
Okay, we're gonna start getting. Okay, this is where we're gonna start getting into some suspicious activity with Carly, which is the neighbor behind, and the same neighbor that went to the vigil and was like panicking and freaking everybody out, going, "Oh my gosh, this is so bad! This is so bad!" Right? This is the Hendersonville rent-a-cop who is really not a cop, and I think he's I don't even think he's a cop anymore, and then does some kind of stuff with staging buses or something like that. But anyway, he inserts himself, and this is where things start to get a little sus. So let's check this out real quick. I just want to shout out Sarah for the PayPal. Thank you so much. It means the world. Really helps, especially since I've been out. God bless you. All right. So now you can see it's 9 a.m. I'm going to go full screen here just so you guys can see it a little bit better. This is very interesting. So let me go full screen here. Once again, sorry, let me clear the comment there. Here is CC. So if you want to refer to him in, because we try not to use real names, we do use nicknames. So CC or Carly. But that is his truck, right? And look at the time. It's 9 a.m. And let's see what's going on. Sorry, it's just slowed down because I had to zoom in, so take a second here. So I do apologize. Let me turn the audio down. I apologize.
So be sure to search under cars and under things.
I was trying to kind of line up the
K9 search and rescue.
The audio of, the timeline from the scanner. Again, because it cuts, from, whatever important information she deemed relevant. So it's really hard to line exactly everything up, especially with stuff that's going on with the camera. Again, a lot of stuff's either going on with the construction zone or some of it's at the house. But I thought, I'd kind of play what's kind of going on in the surroundings while we watch.
I just talked to the GC.
What's going on
construction back here. He's going to start getting the word out to all his crews that are out here working. Everybody, 4 to 1,000. We can get a game plan and reconvene.
So this is where, notice what they said here. This is important. back that up just a little bit. I'll turn that up. Notice what they say.
I'm getting the word out to all these crews that are out here working. Everybody, 4 to 1,000. We can get a game plan and reconvene.
So he's saying, hey, people went out, didn't really have I'm sure they had some kind of plan, but, they hadn't had a full plan. Everybody's still getting there, right? So he's saying, hey, let's get everybody back together so then we can get a better grid search set up. So that's important.
Target, can you put a drone right over top of this trash can, this dumpster, if there's anything in it? 188. Van 184 is going to send you a picture. You send over.
Okay. This is, and I'm like 99% sure this is Carly's truck.
Red.
It's a funky looking van. There's a couple of details. Is back tinted window. It's more tinted than the driver and passenger, but the back one, and extended crew cab. Ford, I believe F-150. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's a Ford. And the other thing is you can see the thing in the bed of his truck, because remember, he has a trailer. I just call it trailer. That I believe this truck is used to haul that. So it's set up for a fifth wheel, just like Crispy.
It was 7:45 this morning.
So there he is at 9 a.m. Oh, the decal, like you talking about this, like the lighting and the bright. Yeah, it's tough. I can't even see the emblems on the back. But I can tell you when he comes back, the grill, it is this. According to ChatGPT, it's his model.
People saying that ain't good. Can we retry that, please?
Yeah, I love it.
188.
Oh, F-250. Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you come to 1,000, please?
And this lines up with what they talk about. That's why I'm like 99% sure that that's Carly.
Well, to any units they're going to be assisting with.
But notice what comes right after the truck. So here's the truck again. And what we don't see, there is could be Sumner County, or it could be Hendersonville, I'm pretty sure it's probably Sumner County Sheriff. He's over in this area over here. And you're going to see here in just a second. So I slowed it down. Sometimes I slow it down too much, and it's always tough to gauge because, we're kind of looking far. Well. So that would be Devon Court, right? Going up, and then you have the Devon Court, and then the cul-de-sac there. And basically, there is, I'm pretty sure it's probably Sumner County Sheriff's, and he literally goes that direction, Carly. And then here comes the, I'm assuming Sumner County, it's tough to say. Here they come right now. And then watch what happens here. And so there is, again, likely Sumner County driving by. And again, this lines up with, remember the guy says, oh yeah, I'm now with the guy with the Ford. Well, you're going to see here in just a second that as we go, and keep in mind this is slowed down. And this grill matches. And you're going to notice he's kind of got a blue shirt on. Right here, you can kind of see some kind of like light blue shirt. That'll be important. This is why, like, I'm 99% sure it's Crispy, because, or not Crispy, I'm sorry, Carly, because there's information that hasn't been shared yet that you guys are going to learn. So notice that's at 9 a.m.
So to any units, they're going to be.
So now keep in mind that we just saw him follow that guy back, right? Because remember, they're going back to reconvene, right? So I think he met up with Sumner County. They spoke, said, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna go meet at Crispy at the house, and kind of get a game plan." And notice the time frame on the audio.
So it's 188.
It's possible maybe this truck isn't his truck.
12 to any units, they're going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please. Start at the beginning of Kellyn Lane 1000. We're going to work our way north of Kellyn Lane. That's fine. I'll get these two houses right here, and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck.
See, so remember, it was like, what was the timestamp? So, and this line's up. So I don't know. Maybe there's a second truck he has.
Go ahead, sir.
So like 917. Remember, we just saw him follow. Yes, this is Carly's home.
Any units, they're going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court.
So again, they're telling everybody come back.
Now, please. Start at the beginning of Kellyn Lane 1000. We're going to work our way north of Kellyn Lane. That's fine. I'll get these two houses right here, and we'll take the right side. The white Ford truck, that's the Hendersonville officer's house that's with me.
So, as you can see, and he even just said the white Ford truck, that's with me. And we just saw a Ford truck go by. So I don't know. Maybe this is an older photo, and I know he's got a new truck. He's got like a dually now. So again, maybe the photo I have is outdated, or maybe it's one of his sons or something. But again, it all lines up because you're gonna see something else here in a bit.
No, that house hasn't been checked. The next house up from it, you'll see the white Ford in the driveway. Where you are.
So I cut to this. Let's see. And this is Carly for everybody that's tuning in. This is Carly's thing here. Again, I bring this up because we're going to come full circle to this, right? As you guys know, Crabtree has been around and, has been definitely saying really lovely things about me. But what if he was a double agent and had been feeding certain people, potentially myself, stuff this entire time, and they just didn't know about it? Boy, that would be a twist, right? That would be a twist. So anyway, we'll come back to this, but just keep that in mind. Do remember he was sending me drone footage. This is a photo from him that he sent to me. This is literally off my phone because he was taking measurements and stuff. So keep that in mind. 932. Officers come by. They start looking. So now they're coordinated, and now they're looking for footage, right? Yeah, maybe that's an outdated photo. I don't know. But the timing lines up, and that blue shirt.
BMW,
We'll see it again.
color, registered. at that address. Confirm NSR.
Correct. When you can't see it, you can find any information. See if we can look up on a phone number or something. We would appreciate it.
Command the units that are at staff report. When you check a residence, please give me the numeric and unit numbers that have checked it and whether or not you made contact with anybody.
Made contact with 1000 Kellyn Lane. He checked all of his cameras. Nothing was on. No answer
it's gonna get
at
spicy
102
here.
or
10
103
minutes.
Kellyn Lane. 105. Answer, hasn't seen it. Nothing on the ring doorbell.
10-4, and you're saying 102, is it 1002 or 102?
1002, I'm sorry.
Did you ask if he had a light purple hoodie?
I don't have to answer no.
And notice that
like
all these cameras on Kellyn that they're talking about, not all of them, but a portion of them, nothing's on it related to Sebastian.
purple hoodie with hammer something like that.
Can they ask?
Mom doesn't advise us to follow me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolute joke.
They
I'm
were
gonna
at
tear him down. Trust me.
Trading Square last night. Just bowling at them. Do you have a unit go there? Make sure that he hasn't returned there.
1015 have ring cameras, but didn't pick up anything.
517 Hendersonville is with me. 1000.
Okay, did you see the timestamp there? That was at almost 10 a.m.
Contact, hasn't seen anything either. Nothing on the ring doorbell. 1012 Kellyn Lane through 20. All 1012 go through the entire.
The lady at 1032, Kellyn, runs the neighborhood.
Okay, then remember he reaffirmed again that Carly is with them, right? Well, what hasn't been noted is that he wasn't driving around in the in one of the cars. He was actually in an ATV driving around. And this one's not as good. I have another one at 11 where you can see his shirt better. Because again, it's really hard. All we can tell is that there's a driver and a passenger. That is 99% Carly. I can say 1,000% he was in an ATV. I didn't know that. That was something new I learned today. So he is out there driving around, obviously getting information, knowing what's coming through the scanner and whatever other communications that they're using that may be more discreet.
States that he just saw a kid with a black shirt, black shorts, and a phone in his hand coming across the construction.
Okay.
When he made.
So remember how Fish Sticks did this nasty, stupid thing, getting people all worked up because the one set of dogs that was a scent dog did go over to the construction, but looked like he went to the retention pond, but never actually had a scent. I can see him literally running all directions.
Contact with this gentleman. Subject went straight back to the woods at the top of Kellyn Lane. I just talked to him. He's one helping. Well, thank you.
Now this is something I'm going to be working on another video.
1008 Stafford. 1023, 24, 18, and 16 Stafford. Ring cameras. Nothing's been called. Operation.
And, they're talking about all the Ring cameras, what's on it. And for those who don't know, they had a group Facebook for the neighborhood. And Katie was in it. And that day, I have a screenshot, but I just can't find it. She mentions, she asks people, hey, if you got a camera, can you put your address down? And I think, I forget the exact quote. If somebody knows, it may even ask, like, did you capture anything? could be. But I know she asked, like, if you got cameras, could you put your address down? Which was really interesting.
That started at Willow Bend Drive, St. John Baptist.
It's almost like she was curious to see, like, who got what.
10-4, are you going back to Stafford Court?
Because I got more information about the camera.
1026. Kellyn Wayne, no contact. 1028, made contact, nothing on their cameras. And 1030, contact, nothing on their cameras, and nothing in the treehouse behind the house.
10-4.
Nothing on camera.
All counts is on Kellyn Wayne. I couldn't check.
And as you can see, which fish sticks would obviously not show, is, well, what do you know?
Those woods on that.
Here is that dog, the scent dog.
Long Hollow, we were unable to fly to due to the distance with the drones. So those big woods that's south of the house.
This is, I'm sorry, this is the scent dog.
We have been able to get chisel. All properties on the Bandywood Court have been checked. We're starting on Honeysuckle now.
Oh, look. Oh.
Yeah, that's 3293.
Oh, it's like he's kind of...
Long Hollow Pike. Beyond the creek.
Starting to kind of pick
and
up
checking
something.
out a cave behind the house.
I'm almost back to the house.
Kind of interesting. He's going south. He's heading back towards... So they're kind of like right here. And, of course, they're heading south. And kind of interesting. The dog kind of picks up his momentum again. I'm sure probably, again, I'm no dog expert. I'm sure maybe they do that all the time. Maybe get a little something. But it's interesting that, yes, the dogs kind of jolt them a little bit going back down towards where I think, the 3 a.m. car was.
Meet my partner.
I crawled back into the cave as far as I could go before it got muddy. No footprints, and it's flat.
3301 Long Hollow Pike has been cleared. Stone house, several outbuildings have been cleared. They're unlocked if anyone else wants to look.
I just sent you the endangered
Yeah,
poster. You can put that on our social media.
Besides the swinger alleged thing between Carly and Katie, it is known through the neighborhood that, because remember, Crispy was gone a lot of the time. And then, of course, right towards the end, he couldn't even be at the house when Sebastian was there. So she needed help. Well, guess who was the one that helped her? It was Carly. That is known. That has been talked with the neighborhood. The neighborhood knows that. So put aside the swinger thing. They had a relationship, as in, at the very least, a friendly neighbor relationship where he came over and helped out. That has been documented. So I don't think it's a stretch. And I would say the swinger between Katie and Crispy, I would say there's a lot of chatter about that. So, take that for what you will.
12 to 188.
Great.
So again, as you can see,
one of those buses behind TW Hunter.
That was the couple with the dog earlier, 8:30. I just wanted to show that. That was the one the fish sticks put out, getting everybody all hyped up that he went to the construction site. And so notice you can kind of see that he's got a blue shirt. I didn't have time to kind of clean it up, but he's got some kind of light blue shirt. And look at the passenger. You can see it better in this one when they come back at 11:13. And you can see that, it's kind of a light blue. Maybe a long sleeve shirt there, but that is Carly with, I don't know if it's Sumner County or whoever, riding with them back and forth. So now this is where I'm going to tear Fish Sticks apart, where he lied about something, and you guys have not seen this, again, a lot of this is footage no one's seen before. I know it's not super like wild. I will drop a bombshell here in a little bit, but so this is a state trooper. And I don't know the whole story. This will be important, but notice where he's going. That's a state trooper, and this is at near Bobby's house, right? And I just want to put in context of why, one of the reasons why he went back that way. If you recall, the horseback went that way, and I kind of want to wait for Fish Sticks to say his thing, and then I'll explain like what was going on. But as you can see, when they got here, and I just want to, let's see, when did they arrive? So 11:25, right? And they're leaving at 11:33, right? So, you know, I want to say round it out to 10 minutes.
They're fueled by Bobby.
So let's listen to what Fish Sticks says. And one of the things I want to do is get all the shit that he's lied about. And that'll go along with just the report that I'm going to work on and pray I can get it out by this month. But I definitely want to do a side thing with Fish Sticks, get him riled up and show every single thing he's lied about with exact evidence. But let's listen to what this piece of garbage says. And let me just tear him down real quick. Let me go full screen here. And thank you to everybody being here. Again, I wanted to do a little bit of the timeline, show you guys some stuff, but then we're going to jump into the cameras because I've got more stuff about them, and that's very interesting. And then we're going to come full circle with Carly. Main thing will be about Carly, so I promise you we'll come full circle. So let's listen to this garbage, and let's see what he says. He wouldn't lie, right? He's a truthful guy. Sorry.
Trying to, for whatever reason,
he's
save
talking
her
about Bobby, the neighbor.
narrative, which is wrong. You know, she is the person that thinks that it's her neighborhood. She runs it. She controls it. Her dad, I guess, was the developer of the thing, and so she thinks it's hers, and like she's got to be in everybody's business. Like I watched Bobby on this surveillance video when this is first happening, and she is running across the street to searchers that are going house to house, and like just you can tell they're like, hey, we're trying to search, and she's tying them up for 30-40 minutes talking.
30 to 40 minutes talking. Is that right? Well, let's bring some receipts as, sorry, who put that up? Michelle, thank you for putting that. God bless you. Yeah, let's bring some receipts because this piece of shit is a piece of shit.
To them. And she's making it sound like, oh, they invaded our neighborhood.
Okay. At 8:18? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this will come together with the mud and his statement. So remember, they went back there earlier around 8:18. Man, that'd be so fun. I've never ridden a horse. I would love to. It'd be so cool. But let's listen to the statement and let's see. So he kind of combines two things. He says, you know, she's running around stalling them, right? And then he says that he stalls somebody for 30 to 40 minutes, right? Well, that was that officer or state trooper. And I'll tell you what they were doing. Keep in mind that her sons have been out there since the beginning, helping them, doing whatever they can as good Samaritans, as good children, good teenage sons that she raised.
They're fueled by Bobby trying to, for whatever reason, save her narrative, which is wrong. She is the person that thinks that it's her neighborhood. She runs it. She controls it. Her dad, I guess, was the developer of the thing.
So I'm going to pause it right there. So I'll give you one insight. One of the reasons why the state trooper, and I forget the full story, but what people don't know is when they were going back through this side of their yard and her yard, it gets super muddy over there. Well, the guys, their boots were getting like stuck and they were super muddy. And as good folks that these people are, that Fish Sticks is torn down, her sons are out there looking, and she's helping them. Well, she had a hose in her backyard, and she's actually hosing down
And so she thinks it's
their boots, helping them because their boots are just, filled with mud, right, stuck to their boots, and they're having issues. And so they finally get out of the mud, and so she goes back and helps them get the mud. I was gonna say I saw the glue mud, but yeah, she's out there helping them with the hose in the backyard, and that's why you saw the one state trooper and stuff helping them. And
hers, and like she's got to be in everybody's.
And then remember, let's listen.
Like I watched Bobby on this surveillance video when this is first happening, and she is running across the street to searchers that are going house to house, and like just you can tell they're like, hey, we're trying to search, and she's tying them up for 30, 40 minutes talking to them, and she's making it sound like, oh, they invaded our neighborhood.
Yep, they're definitely stalled for 30 to 40 minutes. Wow, look at that. I guess time runs different for Steve Fisher, that piece of shit, because he's a piece of shit. Sorry, Snarky Chris is coming out because he's garbage. Yeah, I can't wait to play that. But yeah.
Uses ammunition, but I don't want it to get lost that there's still important information in there. There's still things that need to be answered, and we're still talking about the person who really created this whole thing, because there shouldn't be anybody being accused. There's no reason to accuse any parents right now. When we find Sebastian, we will get those answers. Sebastian, whether alive or not, will tell the story of what happened. There's no reason to convict somebody beforehand before we even find.
Yeah, prayers for your mother. I am so sorry to hear that. Everybody in the chat sending prayers, Hobo Bomb. I am so sorry to hear that.
So let's find him, and then he will tell that story, and law enforcement will do their job. The DA's office will do their job if they have to, and let it play out like that, But instead, right off the bat, she's telling these stories about how there's on camera, somebody's a black blob. Yeah, it's all lies, and.
No, it was truth. We just didn't know the whole context, right? Because it's dark and you can't tell, but there was a figure trying to avoid the light, and it looked like they were carrying something. And of course, Sebastian going missing, and a suspicious vehicle. Early on, he was being carried out. That's not a big stretch.
And so I don't think we should lose sight of that. Really, had that not happened, we wouldn't be here right now. So,
what?
And if people have specific questions, I'm happy to. I'm an open book. So, if I can say, if it's not something that obviously there's some stuff with the case I can't say specifics, but if there's anything around the situation, I'm happy to answer questions.
Somebody asked if Bobby's son's girlfriend worked at Waffle House.
I don't know.
Let's see. So yeah, coming back full circle on this, but yeah, just to finish up, that was the whole reason they had the mud, and you hear it in the audio. They say, "Oh my God, there's a lot of mud," And like I said, being a good neighbor and just being a good Samaritan. Her sons are out there looking. I guarantee you her sons did more searching than Crispy and Katie combined in this entire time. Because they're just pieces of doo-doo. And yeah, she was helping that a few people. I'm not sure the exact details. It was kind of quick, but yeah. But yeah, there's no. I just gone through not all of the video because there's still so much more. And that takes a long time to go through, even just 4 hours. Because there's always something going by, and I'm not sure if it's related or if it's because sometimes it's just a neighbor driving to work or coming back or whatever. But yeah, Bobby's not stalling anybody for 30 to 40 minutes in this absolute horse shit, pun intended. And I'm sure probably part of that conversation, because when you see them on the horseback later on, that is after, they had gone through her back of her home, and I'm sure she probably said, yeah, if you need help with mud or anything, I got a hose, whatever.
They're fueled by Bobby.
She was trying to do whatever she could, her and her family. And it's just crazy what Fish Sticks has done to flip this.
For whatever reason, save her narrative, which is wrong. She is the person that thinks that it's people have specific questions. I'm happy. One of them happened to be right by her house.
Not once, Thornton. Eventually, maybe down the road, I'll get some more video of like the following days, because there is. I mean, there's more top priorities. It's getting the report out. I wanted to get it out last month, but I just health issues. Just is what it is. But I want to get this out, and then of course I want to do something separate for Fish Sticks, because again, there's just a laundry list of just absolute lies, and there is just absolute evidence to back up his bullshit. So remember again, I had talked about this, that 100 hours of footage and there's nothing moving around yet. Of course there is something moving around, because this is a motion activated clip. He's an absolute idiot. I don't think he realized that anybody can chat GPT, or there's AI. Basically, it can tell you what kind of camera system, especially if it's got the more information you can feed it. But then this is what's interesting. I don't know if you guys remembered this, but after this came out, and then remember Crabtree released this. I wonder if that was by accident or on purpose to maybe allow people to see the unredacted. I wonder. And also to see that it is motion activated. But then this was interesting, is remember, because we kind of saw the lights, which was actually just the floodlights reflecting, but it looked like two lights right over here. Man, we kind of got stuck on that. And that's actually just the van. For a while we couldn't figure it out. It was so interesting, because then we had like one or two photos. Actually, there was like three of them. If you guys remember, there's another one that actually points towards where the security camera. So to me, at some point after they were in this backyard and they took photos, and to me that's super sus, because I know 99% what's on one of the clips, which is the main one. And I think it's just so interesting that they would be allowed to go into his backyard and snap these photos. You guys remember that? And try to debunk like what the hell this was. Again, this is just the back of Katie's van. We were trying to figure what the hell it was. But it was so interesting to see these photos come out. If you guys remember that, I know it's been over like a year. That was like right after the 1 year anniversary or just before that actually. But yeah, it was so interesting to see that. Doing some real investigation. Yeah. I mean, I hate to like focus on him, but I mean, you know, he ruined this case, and what he did was, effective for the stink feet, because, there was already a little bit of a divide with the neighborhood right after this happened, because, some people are starting to talk, but it wasn't until Fish Sticks came around. Once he came around, everybody was just like, there's still people that talk, but it used to be the whole neighborhood was very open, and now it is divided. And I think that's such a shame. I'd have to look. I'm not sure. It could be. I think one of those is from a motion activated clip, so it's possible. You're talking about this. Tough to say. It's just so out of focus. But anyway, so now I'm going to give you guys a little bit more information on the cameras, because I learned about another one. Because one of them, I think two houses kind of got combined into one. But I'll kind of recap these. But you guys remember I said that, yeah, there was a couple homes that had Ring cameras that stopped working and had to be replaced. And of course, it's coincidentally, they're on Kellyn. And if you combine this one on the corner, even though his address is technically Stafford, I mean, part of his property is on Kellyn. So keep that in mind. But it's actually 4 cameras in total. And I have the backstories on all of them. I don't have like all the details, but show you here in just a second. So look at this diagram. Now I kind of tried to be a little discreet on exactly which homes, but there was 2 on this side, and one up here malfunctioned. It was a Wi-Fi Ring camera. They didn't have to replace it, but missing footage. Then we have another Ring camera. See a trend there, which is, remember, when they're Wi-Fi, they're more vulnerable to hacking. This one quoted as being burnt out and had to be replaced. So that's on this side. And then a home on this side. They had 2 setups. They had a Ring camera that was actually hardwired on their door. And then get this. They had their Brinks camera. Brinks. That's right. A Brinks camera set up on their garage. I think there was at least 2. I have 3. It says 3. I don't know if I added the Ring camera, but 2 or 3. And they were Brinks. And this is a nice older lady and very knows the neighbor well. And hers was frozen for a week back. And they eventually replaced her Ring cameras. Or the Brinks ones. So that is interesting. The one that was hardwired didn't have an issue, but the ones on the garage, which were Brinks, and no, Katie didn't install them. Yeah, frozen back a week, and she had to have them replaced. Yeah, this is the approximate area of the homes. I didn't want to, put it on the direct home. I kind of wanted to be a little discreet, but 2 on the left side and 1 on Kellyn. And then you add in the guy with the broken timestamp. And not only the broken timestamp, but his camera system that still picked up stuff. Thankfully, that was hardwired. But not only was his timestamp frozen, and it was frozen for multiple days, which, yes, that can happen to these cameras, especially some older ones. It's not uncommon. But his camera, this particular camera, had nighttime mode. And nighttime mode is very important, especially when you don't have proper lighting, right? If you don't have floodlights under your camera, you don't have nighttime mode, right? So you would have ended up with, this, right? Where you can't see, other than your driveway really, and barely even that. Thanks for this floodlight. If this floodlight was not on, you probably wouldn't see anything, right? Unless there was like some kind of ambient light or something. But this camera, and I show you the difference here. So here's the difference between a camera when it doesn't have its infrared on. Oh, actually, no infrared, and this one happens to be like super. Apparently, it must be some kind of light source that's blinding this. And then this is the same camera when the infrared turns on. And notice, you can make out the vehicles, the street. I mean, look at that. And that camera, not only did the timestamp freeze, but the nighttime mode or infrared was not working. Still, to work both sides, it is still not, it's not impossible for those things to happen to a system like that. But for that amount of days is very, very uncommon. And then you add in, what are the odds that, you guys see a pattern here? Cameras going out on Kellyn, but no reported issues. And there are cameras on Stafford. We know here. I think there's one back in the cul-de-sac here. I'm not sure about these homes. I know I've got them written down somewhere. No issues that we know of. No, corner house. Are you talking about this corner house? I have not gotten anything. I just have the one house. There's one angle that unfortunately we don't have. We just have a few things from it. And man, if I got that footage, because it points, I've shown this before, it points towards, and remember, they're up on a hill, so even though they're up here, I would be able to kind of see the 3 a.m. stuff. And man, if I had that footage, I want to say game over, but it would be a game changer for sure. So now the other thing I want to mention is, oh, thank you so much for the love, Jennifer. Thank you so much for the $1.99. I appreciate that. Helps me out so much. I've got one last thing to finish up on here. And let's look at the poll real quick. And again, thank you to those that donated. Let me just quickly make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you, Hobo, and I'm so sorry. Prayers for your mother. Sassy, bring the fish stick, Snark. I did a little early. Thank you for all you're doing for Sebastian. Yeah, it's so hard to not. There's a couple of things that would be huge, but unfortunately we just can't say right now. Who knows down the road? But I would say nearly 2.5 years out, I would say the chances of him being alive, even though, when you go with statistics, it's not good, it's really not good. I would say I am more hopeful now than I have ever been. I definitely think there is a good chance that he could be out there. I still think the odds are not in his favor, but I do think more now than ever. And man, I wish I could just say everything that I could, but again, that would just be burning sources, and we can't do that. And I know that some people don't like when I say I know something I can't tell you. Believe me, at least one of them will probably come out, so it will be talked about. So remember when I say this, and it'll involve their home. So that's all I'll say about that. Sebastian's home. So quote that, timestamp that, clip it, however you want to call it. It will somehow, maybe we'll be able to find a way to release it. But, and then there's the other one, and that it's whew, holy hell, holy shit, man, wild stuff. One last thing. What was it? Talked about how this guy in the corner, if he did keep his NVR, which is like a little thing that record, it's kind of like a cable box. I just showed you an example. This is from the corner houses at 3 a.m. If you guys saw my last live last week, I talked about how if there was a hacking situation, unless they're like the best hackers, and keep in mind, Katie's background is in networking and stuff like that. Of course, works for Brinks, or worked for Brinks. That's still kind of a little bit up in the air. But, yeah. So, I mean, she definitely has knowledge. And anyway, back to this is if it was hacked, and I talked about how metadata, because, we've seen like the Murdoch case, with phones, they use Cellubrite, right? With phones, they go into the data, they can see, especially newer phones, they can see if it's moving. They can get into the vehicle with infotainment center. There's another one they used in Murdoch case. But it'd be the same situation with this NVR, because they sent the footage, right? They sent the footage to, and this is at the corner house. But as far as I know, and I could be wrong, but this is old information, so something could change. But in case if the family's watching or somebody that's close to the family, if they still have that NVR and it's never been dissected by FBI or TBI, I would give them a call, because that's where the information, if it was hacked, it would show up in that, they would go in and use their stuff, work their computer magic. And that could lead, potentially to an IP address, or, And IP address is, any computer, laptop device you use. It's kind of like your social security for that device, right? So it's possible that could be in that data. So, last thing, because we went full circle with Carly. And if you're a Patreon, I put a video out 2 days ago, I think it was. And I'm sorry I didn't get it out sooner. I gave a little bit of information that I haven't said before about what's actually, like, I've kind of talked about what's in it, but there's an angle and a source that we got. And, maybe it's Crabtree. Maybe Crabtree could have been playing both sides and told me that maybe they thought there was, looked like something that's not flashlights, but something else. But yeah. But again, with that being so far away, and it would make sense. Like I said, I've already done a live on it. But the whole reason that Fish Sticks went into the whole guy taking his garbage can down with a flashlight, again, I thought that was overkill. And now, when I learned that and knowing that that is like literally in this little gap, that driveway across the street would be between the two homes here. I know it's dark. I apologize. It would have made sense as to why they were saying that. But in my opinion, I think subject one is, subject two, I'm sorry. Should say subject two. I believe subject two is Carly, based on studying this. So, anything, let me check my phone real quick. Thank you, Sandra, so much for the Venmo. That is so awesome. God bless you. And thank you to my wonderful mods, Sassy and Pocahontas coming in, and Jennifer. I know it's not easy when I'm missing days. Little Miss Sharon, thank you so much. Any questions for me? Let me stop and read a few things. Any questions before I stop? Because I've been live. Anything you guys want me to cover in a future live as well? I know they had multiple cameras, Crazy Buck, and I think they did. I don't know the angles of them, but yes, they did. They did have, because you can actually see, when on the leaked footage where the person's using a cell phone, you can actually see the player, and on the right, I've shown, like, you can see the how many cameras he's got. Let me in. Yeah, he may have one on the back there. Oh, there's one right there, I think. Is that one? Oh, no, that's just the funky edge. But yes, I know there's one there. I think he had at least 4. I think 3 on the outside, at least 2 on the outside, possibly more. And yes, their timestamps are frozen too. Yeah, this was definitely well thought out. Samantha, yeah, I love the hope. That's sweet. I love kitties. Cats are my favorite. I mean, I love all animals, of course. Oh my god, but cats, I don't know. I've been called the cat whisperer before. I don't know. I never had, really any issues with cats. I think they're definitely majestic and can sense, good and bad. Um, yeah, Sassy. Yeah, that is such a weird, weird thing. And two of these people are still really close to the neighbor. So that's why, and the other one, they were all close. And then of course, when fish sticks came around, it got divided. But yeah, I don't know what would be the odds that you would have that many cameras. I mean, I'm sure that is a common issue to have stuff happen with those cameras, but it's just very, very sus that you've got that many on the night he went missing. Oh, thank you, debutante. Yeah. And I know I've mentioned this before, but as long as my health stays good, my main focus is going to be getting the report out. I know people want to see that, and we want to. Oh, thank you, Bo. That's so sweet. I do want to get that out. That is going to be kind of my top priority. I still have to work and do lives, but that is going to be what we're going to focus on. And hopefully one of these bombshells, we could probably release. Maybe at the very least the one with Carly, give a little bit more details about that, because if you guys knew the source and where it came from, it's yeah, it's wild. Oh, thank you, Pogonis. Yeah, it is what it is. What is going to be the focus? So as far as the report, I want to do 3 stages. I want to do the before he went missing, the Texas Roadhouse, because we've got that Jeep Patriot Renegade, or I know some people mentioned something that wasn't a Jeep that could look like a Jeep Patriot Renegade. So the Texas Roadhouse, all the stuff that we've discovered with that. The fact that she's walking out with the phone, the handoff, whatever. Second stage is clearly the 3 a.m. stuff, all of that with actual data from, using AI and all of that. And then the third one is after just some of the shady stuff that would connect. So that would be the 3 stages. Not very long. And then remember, this is a report that we've literally been working on for what feels like a year now. And going to try to trim it down to just, because this will go to not Coffin Dapper, but like I said, it's not hard to have a PI working along with a particular group and helping. And of course, they have good contacts and connections. Carly is the neighbor that lives behind the stink feet. He is the person that went around saying, "Oh my gosh, it's so bad, it's so bad." He's the one, this is his camera footage that he sent to Fisher, interestingly enough, who then manipulated it, saying there's nothing going on. This footage, again, it's a Nest Cam, and all you have to do is just put this, if you got the right screenshots, you put this into any AI, that's decent, like ChatGPT, and it'll tell you it's a Nest Google Cam, and it is literally just, these are set for motion, just motion activity. So it's asinine for him to put this statement out, which came over a year ago, saying, "Oh, look, these guys are idiots. There's nothing going on." Yet he uses an image, a thumbnail, basically, from a video clip that has motion in it at 3:06, basically 3:07 a.m. So it's just so asinine that he did that. Again, not the brightest crayon in the box. I'm not the smartest person, obviously, but we got to keep poking the bear. But yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Sassy. Yeah, and I'll try to, we'll have to kind of redact some things. Try not to do too much, but we have to protect our sources. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Bo. All right, guys. I went for 2 hours. Oh, right on the dot. Perfect. Yeah. Sorry, Lisa. I don't hold any grudges for Coffin Dapper. I think because you got to look at the bigger picture, in my opinion, and I don't blame you having that feeling. I mean, I was a little hurt when she started kind of not debunking. That's the wrong word. Kind of dismissing the 3 a.m. video and the lights, and it's like, come on. Anyway. Oh, but considering that she used to be worked in the FBI, and she clearly has, obviously, because she worked for the FBI, has contacts, and I know her family, some backstory I'm not going to get into, but she knows people, right? And if she's covering Sebastian, whether it's good or bad, she's covering it. And usually, of course, she's still pro, Seth, although I know her stuff switched. So I'm just saying, I'm like trying to look at the good out of the bad of it, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I don't blame people for having that feeling. Because she'd be bitching about herself, because one of them's her, allegedly. No, yeah. No, people had asked me that. I'm like, no. If you by chance emailed me in the last 2 weeks, I am catching up on them slowly. So please be patient. I will get caught up. If my health stays good, I'm only human. But I still want to kind of, I'm always going to stay on Sebastian, but I am going to try to, if I get back to like 3 times a week, probably have one day for whatever new stuff's going on, so it's not stale, because I know we just kind of go over the same stuff, but it's just so hard, because it's like this case, it just bugs me. I just feel like this is like the John Ramsey thing all over again, where they literally spent all their time, they believed the family from the get-go, like in the John Ramsey case, and then by the time they probably started looking at him, it was too late. And then maybe there could be some funky inside stuff. I want to believe, that most of the Sumner County is good people, but I definitely think there's some bad apples. Craddock, excuse me, something in my throat. But yeah. All right, guys, much love. Do a pet outro. Oops, yanked my mic off. I'm always afraid to say, my next live, because I never know my health. But if my health stays good, I am going to try to do makeup live. So mods, just, you're part of my Facebook group. I always try to get something out by 2 p.m. my time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern or noon Pacific. It's always fun doing that math. Or, no, 1 Pacific, right? Whatever it is. Something like that. And then, yeah, we'll try to do a members live, and then maybe work on another pet outro before the month ends, if there's anybody who wants to update their pets or something for the members. And then again, if for any Patreons, like I said, I put a video out it would expand on this in the Patreon with Carly. So with that, much love. Again, thank you, mods. You're the best. Thank you, members, and everybody in here. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the jewels. I wish, hopefully, Facebook, YouTube allows me eventually to like highlight those, so I can shout people out for that. But anyway, thank you guys again for the PayPal and Venmos. It really, really helps, especially if I'm missing stuff. But all right, pet outro. We'll see you guys hopefully soon. I'm gonna try to aim for tomorrow. And we'll see how it goes. God bless you guys. Wish you guys the best and a wonderful weekend.
Got you in my sight. I keep all of what you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you'll beg me please. Hey. Now I stay away, you were never meant to save me. Now I stay away, I'll hear you say you're sorry.
Thank you guys again so much for the love and support. You guys are so awesome. I am so blessed. Thank you so much, Liberty. See you guys hopefully soon. God bless you guys. You guys are the best.